Welcome to Spiritual Dialogues with Father Odon de Castro. We are here at Cariana Lay Monastic Community. I'm your host, Brother Lodi, and with us is Sister Tachi.
Yeah, from the past episode that we were discussing, Father, I still can't understand, except that Christ did say that at the end there will be things like this, He will come to divide. But can you imagine your own Catholic, instead of being with you, goes against you? I can't understand. But will this happen over and over again in different circumstances, Father? Is that a prophecy?
Well, as you said, the administration of the Catholic school,
Yeah.
Convington
Yeah.
Catholic High School, went against the boys.
So,
Now, if they went against the boys, maybe the boys were not their own.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because they would.
And if their own bishop went against them, then maybe
What?
the boys does not belong to the bishop.
Must not be.
Probably they belong to different religion. And if the Catholic Conference Bishops Conference of the United States sided with those who were criticizing the boys, and probably the bishops does not belong to the same religion as the boys belong to.
It seems like that, Father.
Well, definitely. And as we have mentioned, the statement of Jesus Christ found in St. Matthew, where Christ says, "He who confesses me before men, I will confess before my Father in heaven." And we would like to show that the bishop of this Catholic school and the administration of this Catholic school are not behaving like Catholics. That's why they did not support the boys whose behavior was very Catholic. Now, look at the four visible signs of the Catholic Church that we have been discussing in the past. And we have been using these four visible signs as a way of finding out whether a bishop is a Catholic or not, whether a diocese or a parish is a Catholic or not. Saint James had mentioned the fact that if you violate one command, you violate all of them. And this was mentioned first by Saint Augustine, of course. Elaborated by Saint Augustine, mentioned by Saint James, but elaborated by Saint Augustine, who said, "He who goes against one teaching of the Catholic Church goes against all the teachings of the Catholic Church." The way Saint James says is, "He who goes against one commandment," that's morality, of Jesus Christ goes against all the commandments of Christ. Now, the command of Christ in St. Matthew is, "He who confesses me before men, I will confess before my Father in heaven, and he who denies me," which means the interpretation of St. Thomas of Aquinas is, who are those who confess Christ before men? Before men. It has to be before men. Not just by yourself, alone in your room.
In other words,
there is no one hearing you.
Yes, in other words, you're not defending.
So St. Thomas of Aquinas, it has to be before men. Christ said so, before men. And St. Thomas says, that's very important that you have to do before men. That is a sign of your salvation. He says your faith has to come out verbally before men. You have to confess it before men. You're not supposed to be walking around hiding your faith.
Yes,
It has to be before men. And this young boy really showed it before the indigenous Indian and before the black Israelites, because they're all around him, and before those who were taking videos. So actually, he was confessing Christ before the entire world.
Yes.
Which is something very good, because as St. Paul says, that's a sign of salvation. When you have faith in your mind, but you confess it through your lips. Of course, the boy did not say anything. No, he didn't utter any words, but his gesture was clear enough.
Yeah, he could have run away. And he
again.
did not run away.
No,
he
he
stood.
confronted
That's
and
what I mean. He stood.
And quietly. He
Yes.
was not trying to antagonize
or-
anybody or what.
It didn't show that. It didn't say that. Huh?
No,
It did that insult. They
it didn't
insulted
even show
him.
it.
Yeah.
It didn't show even in the
Okay.
video. So he said he was praying and he was quiet. He was trying to avoid any altercation. So he was explaining his behavior, and that's really a perfect sign of one confessing Christ before men without saying any words. But without saying any words, that's a nice thing. But his own bishop and the administration of his Catholic school, Convington, in Kentucky, expressed their unbelief, as St. Thomas of Aquinas says, their disobedience to that command of Christ which says, "He who confesses me before men, confesses me before Christ." They denied words expressed in the newspaper, verbally, in videos. They express a disobedience to that teaching of Jesus Christ. Which means that if we apply the rule of Saint James, in effect they have disobeyed all the commandments of Christ. And if we apply the saying of Saint Augustine to them, they have denied all the teachings of Christ, for having denied one teaching of Christ.
Yes.
Now, if you deny a teaching of Christ, which has been taught by the apostles, you would not have that fourth sign, visible sign of the Catholic Church, which is apostolic.
Yes.
You wouldn't have that. And if you don't have one visible sign of the Catholic Church, you don't have all the four.
Yes. That's
One, holy, and Catholic. If you don't have apostolic,
You
you
don't
wouldn't have the one, holy, and
Catholic.
Catholic.
So you're not even Catholic.
Which shows that visibly, if you sit down and analyze it, that bishop from Kentucky, Bishop Joseph, is not a Catholic,
Yeah.
nor the administration of the school. And all Catholics who went against the boy, whether they're actors, actresses, who went against the boys, are not Catholics. I would understand that the indigenous Indian was not a Catholic,
Yeah, that's clear.
and the black Israelites were not Catholics.
Yeah.
But then the bishops, and even the bishops' conference
Yes.
of the United States, who went against the boys and therefore disobeyed this teaching of Christ, which is quoted in St. Matthew, are showing that they are not Catholics. And that's the reason why they went against the boys.
Yes, it seems so. Yes. Because, Father, can you explain, remember, why if one command, that has been explained, but I'd rather you explain it. If you disobey one command, you disobey all. What is the reason for that? Because there's only one God who gave that command. Is that it?
Because St. James said so.
Yes, yes, I know, Father. But I don't know why I read somewhere that because it's the same God who gave the command. So if
Yeah,
you don't obey one command, you still disobey the
It's
same God.
That's true.
That
the
makes sense a little bit?
rationale given by
I see.
St. Thomas.
Okay. I thought I heard you say that before. Okay.
The one command given by God, and all the rest was
the same
given
God.
also by the same,
Same God. And so
If you disobey one of His commands,
then you don't have any
yeah.
respect for Him and His
That's-
commands.
yeah.
Okay, fine.
The four visible signs, Father, in essence, they are one.
Who?
The four visible signs, the meaning of the
Yeah,
four visible. In essence, they have one meaning.
There's only one command, yeah. That's what St. James says. They're all just one command. So when you disobey one of them, you disobey all of them, yeah.
Because if you are not following the apostolic sign, you don't have faith.
Yeah.
Because you have faith through reading of the Holy Book, written by the apostles.
Well, actually, that's not the only thing that happened during the March for Life. Because during the March for Life, there were 4 priests who attended. I suppose there were more priests who attended, but 4 of them had Roman colors like this one,
Okay.
for a moment went off also. But their collars didn't go off.
Okay, yes, Father.
And they were pictured.
Yeah.
So they appeared in the picture with Roman collar.
Okay.
And their own bishop corrected them for having attended the March for Life.
What
okay.
for?
Reprimanded them for attending as a priest with the Roman collar, the March for Life. It doesn't say why they were corrected, but they were corrected, which means that this bishop really doesn't believe in the
Yeah.
importance of
Of life.
life. Yeah.
And most likely they disregard the teaching of Christ that anyone who declares my name publicly, I'll declare it to my Father.
Well, that's precisely what we're trying to insist on, yeah.
The March for Life, which means the people who march for life are against abortion, right?
Yeah, against abortion,
and-
family planning.
And that's
Those are
in
doctrines,
that's in the
yeah.
catechism.
Those are doctrines.
Those are doctrines.
Dogmatic doctrines.
Yes,
yeah.
so you have to be for that.
You have to side with that, yeah.
So
You have
why
to
would
side.
a priest be ashamed of? They should be the first one marching there.
Yeah, that's why we're saying that, God has brought us to a time where He's testing everybody, and everybody is taking sides.
Okay.
And the sides are very, very clear.
Yes.
That these bishops are not in the middle.
No.
They are on the wrong side.
Yeah. They don't like the March for Life. Therefore, they are for abortion.
Yeah.
They are. I guess so.
Well, yes. Even the Vatican is in favor of that already, and
Okay.
they're fostering family planning. They are agreeing with the United Nations, who is fostering, of course, abortion and family planning.
Okay.
So,
They've taken sides. Fine.
I mean, they have taken. It seems that everybody today has taken their side, and it's very clear. I mean, these are high school boys. These are not theologians,
Yeah, and they've taken their side.
and it's even junior high school. They said.
Yes, that's
And very clearly, they took a very clear stand.
and he seemed to be very the way the boys. The only thing that I realized is he uttered, "I was praying." Not many people would admit praying, Father,
In
because it seemed
public,
in
or-
public
yeah.
because it seems to them that's so kind of not macho. Not you're not manly. People don't pray to
Yeah.
God. They depend on themselves. They trust themselves more than. And this boy said he did. The trust
Not
in
only
God, isn't
that,
that, Father? It's
he
a
even-
trust in God.
He even said that I was praying because I am a Christian, I'm a Catholic.
He said, that's really a confession.
And that's the way Catholics are supposed to behave. Not aggressively, you pray quietly and try
Exactly.
to make things get worse.
That's it. He
I mean,
is
his behavior was very Catholic. Really.
very,
Yeah.
when he said it only verbally after, he just confesses what it was. He was
Yeah.
saying silently.
Even if he said it verbally, that's okay because
Yes, because
when it was happening, that was what was happening.
it confirmed.
Except that he just explained it and described it later
After
on.
on, which is fine.
Later on, that's right. But at the moment, that was how he was acting. He was confessing
Amazing.
Christ before man.
With his actions, yes. Even the silence of his actions, yes.
Yeah, I mean, his silence was
Yes.
louder
Yes.
than if he said it in
Yes,
words.
I think so.
Because in fact, nobody heard his words afterwards. But everybody saw his action and precisely condemned him for his action, not for his words.
And his actions, just to be clear, he just stood there quietly and smiling.
Yeah, he was just smiling, he was quiet, and he said he was praying.
How can you misunderstand that?
But the point is, he didn't move in spite of the fact that
I see. Okay.
the two groups were trying
Were-
to threaten him.
Okay, he could. Yes. Okay, that
That
means
was
he was
something-
kind of brave.
He was brave, yeah, he
Okay.
was brave. Yeah.
That's courage. Okay.
We have only 1 minute, Father. I have one question
Yeah.
about March for Life. There is so much meaning in this word life because Christ came to the world to give life
Yeah.
to humanity. And a lot of people now is dead because they don't have the right faith. And therefore, probably what the student want is to have this kind of faith that gives life through Christ. Father?
Yeah, because life is from God.
Yes.
You know that very well. Death is actually from the devil. In fact, the devil have used death precisely to threaten man to betray God. And that's why the devil tries to actually plan the killing of God.
Yes.
It was the devil who inspired Herod to kill the baby and so on like that. So the killing of life is the work of the devil. It is the work of the devil. God allows it. Even God allowed that his son be killed and crucified. God allows it, but the author is always the devil. That's why the March for Life is actually insisting on the importance of a doctrine of the Catholic Church that God is a God of life. He said so that I am the life. I am the truth, the way, and the life. And so any attempt at life, and there are many religions who are really killing, like the Aztecs of Mexico and so on. These are really diabolical. Anything that goes against life, diabolical acts is usually lying, St. Thomas says, and killing. Lying and killing. That's from the devil.
Thank you very much, Father. So that now we understand the real meaning of life, because that life comes from Jesus Christ. Thank you very much for watching Dialogues with Father Rodon de Castro. See you next episode. Thank you so much.
Hosanna, Hosanna.